Castle Crags State Park sits right on Highway 5 in Northern California. However, because you can't see the main crags from the road, it is often passed by on road trips and many people don't even know it's there. The state park is pretty amazing though, with dozens of miles of hiking trails that lead to waterfalls and the crags, as well as the Pacific Crest Trail which runs right through it. On a recent trip to the area, I set out to hike the Castle Dome Trail. It's a pretty rewarding but tough hike in the state park. Here's all the information on that trail and let me know what you think in the comments. To get to Castle Crags State Park from the town of Mount Shasta, you'll have to head south on the I-5. After passing the town of Dunsmuir, you'll see the exit for the state park and then you'll proceed into the park and pay your fee. Once you enter, it's about a 10-minute windy drive through the campgrounds up to the trailhead. A few sections of the road are one lane only, so be sure to go slow and to pull out for other vehicles. We made it to the parking area for the Castle Dome Trail. I definitely recommend heading out on the Vista Point Trail first so you can get a view of the crags before you head up. The Vista Point Trail is a great introduction to the park at only a quarter mile. It was closed for work when I did this hike, but here's a view of it in the winter. From there you can get some great views of the crags and Mount Shasta. 2.8 miles each way and a lot of uphill. It's supposed to be hot today, so I chose this trail and got an early start. It's shaded through most of the early section, and then once you get to the top, it's pretty exposed. The trail begins with a shaded flat section that allows you to enjoy the forest. Alright, we're about a half mile in. We're splitting with the Root Creek Trail, and from here it is uphill all the way to the end. Hopefully you enjoyed that nice flat section while you had it. 2,000 feet to the top. I remember this the first time I did this trail. It's crazy how they just cut these little paths for the electrical wires. Right here we're also crossing the Pacific Crest Trail, which goes that way. While I never planned to hike the PCT myself, it's always cool to be able to see where this iconic trail goes through California. Let me know if you'd like to hike it in the comments. This trail is steep and there's not a lot of switchbacks. As you continue on, you're basically just going uphill. Every once in a while there's a switchback that helps with the gain, but luckily it is shaded for most of the way. We're about a mile into the hike and we've gained just over 500 feet, which is only a quarter of the elevation that we're gaining. This is definitely a tough one. Onward. We've reached a section that's a little bit flat, which is nice. We're still in the shaded forest, but we're gonna leave it within a quarter of a mile, I think. When I say a little bit flat, I don't actually mean it's flat. Just more of a gradual uphill than a uphill like this. As we come around this bend, getting our first views of the mountains. This park really is incredible, but it's very overlooked because of how difficult it is to see the views. When you finally see the crags, and then when you finally get up to them, you'll notice how amazing this park truly is. These views are giving me a little bit more adrenaline to keep going. I was getting tired in the forest. Went on forever. We're splitting with the trail to Indian Springs, which supposedly has water year-round. We're just heading out that way towards the crags. We've officially made it into the Castle Crags Wilderness, and look at that view of Mount Shasta. This is one of my favorite views on the trail, and if it's clear, you'll continue to get some views of Mount Shasta as you head up. From the Castle Crags sign, we only have 1 mile left, but it's the steepest mile of the trail with about 1,000 feet of elevation gain. It's gonna be a good one. While the trail was moderately difficult on the way up, from here is where the trail really earns its difficult status. The well-maintained trail that you are used to is starting to give way to slabs of rock and lots of stones. I can't tell you how thankful I am for this shade, as it's warm in May and there's been no real sun exposure on this trail so far. You guys want to see something cool I just learned? So you can snap a picture of a plant And then when you pull it up, click this little info button, click look up plant, and then it'll tell you what kind of plant it is. Never knew that existed. Nothing like a piece of coffee cake to keep you going. Shout out to Seven Sons in Mount Shasta for making awesome stuff. Look at that view of Shasta right there. Cheers. I'm sweaty. As you continue up, this section just becomes a grind, stepping over big rocks to gain elevation to the top. Look at that, 2.5 miles in. Wow. That's an amazing view of the dome and Mount Shasta. Continuing the climb, these views are stunning. The view with Castle Dome and Mount Shasta out in the distance is iconic in Northern California. Hopefully it's clear if you do this hike. We've actually made it up to the start of the Crags section, so we're officially in the Crags now, I think. This trail is also getting steep. Hiking pole would definitely be nice for the way down. As I got to this section, it was awesome to start to be able to see some of the rocks. Do note that there's less shade here and it can get hot in the summer. Check it out, this is the trail as we're getting closer to the top. Basically scrambling over rocks. I'm not gonna lie to you, the end of this hike is a legit sufferfest. While the hike does get harder, the destination is in sight and you can see the craggy mountains in front of you. Plus, as the trees start to give way, there's amazing views out in every direction. Saying goodbye to Shasta, as I think that this trail is going to be blocked the rest of the way from that view. I know you're probably wondering if you can go to the top of Castle Dome. I tried it last time I was up here. I got about halfway up before it was way too sketchy to do without a rope and climbing gear, so we will definitely not be going to the top of that. Once you get here, there's only a little bit more elevation to get to the saddle where you have the crags on both sides of you. As you can see, we are almost at the end of the trail. Once I got near the trail's end, I saw the first people I'd seen on the entire hike. They were trying to find the official end of the trail just like I was, and we wandered around for a while before finding the sign. We've officially made it to the end of the trail. Sign that just says trail end here. And from here you can explore however you want the Castle Crags area. I found it kind of funny that the trail just basically ends. But it is cool that you can kind of just wander around, climb some of the rocks, and explore however you'd like. I saw some climbers on the way down that were coming up to do a popular route with ropes as well, so this is probably a pretty great spot for rock climbing. I walked around and explored for a little while and I saw some cables that led to a pretty cool viewpoint. To the left of the dome, there's this epic viewpoint with this little fence right here and Shasta out in the distance. Be sure to seek this one out as it's a worthy endpoint for your time hiking Castle Crags State Park. After exploring, I'm back at the trail end sign to have some water and a snack. That was a tough one, but it is pretty beautiful up here. Hopefully you enjoyed this hike. Let me know in the comments and leave a like. I'll see you on the next video.